Secrets of the Old Mansion. There was an old mansion on a hill. It was big, with broken windows and creaky doors. The walls were dark and it was always cold. Inside, a family lived, but this family was not happy. Each person in the house had their own secret, and each secret made them sad. The father, Mr. Edwards, was quiet. He used to laugh and talk, but not anymore. Now he stayed in his office all day. Nobody knew why. He would just sit and stare at old pictures of his brother, who had disappeared many years ago. He never told anyone the real story. Mrs. Edwards, the mother, was always crying. She would sit by the window looking at the trees outside. Sometimes she would talk to herself, saying, if only things were different. She missed the life they had before moving to the mansion, but no one knew what had happened to change her. Jack, the older son, was always angry. He spent hours in the mansion's basement, hitting a punching bag. He never talked about why he was mad, but he blamed his father for moving them to this old house. He believed something bad had happened in this place and it made him feel trapped. Lily, the younger sister, was afraid. She heard whispers at night and saw shadows in the corners of the mansion. She didn't tell anyone because she thought they wouldn't believe her. She kept a diary, writing down everything she heard and saw, hoping to make sense of it all. One night, the family heard strange noises. The walls creaked louder than ever and the wind howled. It felt like the house was alive. Jack went to check the basement, while Lily ran to her room trembling. Mrs. Edwards closed her eyes and whispered, "It's starting again." The next morning, something strange happened. The keys to the mansion's front door was gone. Mr. Edwards searched everywhere but couldn't find them. The family was trapped inside. Jack said, "Someone or something is keeping us here." Lily nodded. She had seen shadows moving again that night. Lily, curious about the shadows, started exploring the house. One day she found a door behind an old bookshelf. It was a hidden room. Inside, she saw old letters and pictures of a man who looked like her father. But it wasn't him. It was his brother. Lily realized her father was hiding something. In the basement, Jack found something too. He discovered an old chest, locked and dusty. He broke it open and found books about the mansion's history. The mansion once belonged to their father's family, but terrible things had happened there. People had disappeared, just like their uncle. Meanwhile, Mrs. Edwards couldn't hide her secret any longer. She had known about the mansion's dark past. She had begged her husband not to move there, but he wouldn't listen. Now she feared the same things that happened to her brother-in-law would happen to her family. Lily began to hear voices from the shadows. They called her name and whispered, "Help us." She realized the shadows were trying to tell her something, but she didn't know what to do. She decided to tell Jack, hoping he would believe her. To her surprise, he did. Jack and Lily decided they needed to escape the mansion. But without the keys, they couldn't leave. They searched the house, looking for another way out. In the attic, They found an old map of the mansion. It showed a secret tunnel that led outside, but it was dangerous. That night, Jack and Lily told their parents about the tunnel. At first, Mr. Edwards refused to listen. He didn't want to leave, still hoping to find his missing brother. But Mrs. Edwards, filled with fear, insisted the family needed to escape before it was too late. As the family prepared to leave, the mansion seemed to come alive. The walls shook and the wind outside grew stronger. The shadows in the house grew darker, following Lily wherever she went. But she wasn't scared anymore. She knew they were leading her to the truth. Just before they reached the tunnel, Lily stopped. The shadows whispered, "Wait." She found a letter hidden under the floorboards. It was from her uncle. The letter explained everything. He had discovered the mansion secret years ago and tried to warn their father. But the house wouldn't let him leave. Now it was up to them to escape before they became trapped forever too. With the letter in hand, the family rushed into the tunnel. As they emerged outside, they turned to see the mansion one last time. It stood still, dark and cold, but they knew its secrets would stay hidden no longer. The truth had set them free.